What is up, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Flippin' Soup. First of all, thank you to the new subscribers. The channel has grown since we started doing. I started doing 2 videos a day about a week ago, and this is going to correlate with eBay as well, guys. It's funny how the laws of life, the laws of eBay, the laws of YouTube work, right? There is laws of eBay. Okay, and you can wrap them up really simple with consistency, productivity, and your store being opened every day. You can really sum it up in them few things, but there's a lot of, there's a lot of branches off from that for you to be able to actually achieve that, right? And here's one of the biggest false laws there are on not only reselling, but if you take it I've been using exercising a lot for analogies because, I got back into it, and I keep my eyes open for things, right? And you'll see like this advertisement of this P90X, right? I shouldn't even say that. Whatever. Supplement, right? And you'll see a guy or a girl, and they're whacked out, and they're out of shape, and they look like they've been eating potato chips on a couch for 30 years, right? And then you'll see a 90-day after photo, and they look like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? It just ridiculous results in 90 days. And they tell you that this supplement's going to get you there in 90 days, right? It's false advertising. Okay, and you hear a lot of that too about eBay, or I think a lot of us go into eBay thinking you're going to start on day 1 and day 90, you're going to be the 6-figure a year guy or girl. That it's false. There's laws of physics. There's laws of eBay, okay? And you're not going to get there that fast, but the great thing about that is recognizing that before you even start. Or when you're in your journey right now. You might be going through a storm. I went through a storm last year, guys, for about 3 to 4 months. They're going to happen to you. I was getting too emotional about everything else in life, and it played, it made my eBay a victim, basically, right? Because I was lacking consistency. I was lacking productivity. I was lacking putting my energy into where it should be and diverting it everywhere else, right? So there's laws to eBay, right? It's 1, staying consistent. It's 2, even when you think you can't do it, right? Even when you think you can't find inventory, go out there and hustle and find a way to do it, right? There's always a way. I've told people since the beginning of my video content 4 years ago about eBay that there is always a way, man. There are people that, right now is trash day on my street. I can't tell you how much money I've made out of people's trash right here on the road I live on. It's ridiculous. They don't know that. Maybe they do. Maybe they see me going through their trash or whatever, but they don't realize what I'm doing with it. And the whole law behind eBay, you will figure out through time. Like, right, what a real good thing to go into when you first start reselling is telling yourself, look, I'm going to make no excuses to excel. Because here's what we do as resellers. Okay, I know this because I'm a reseller. Okay, here's what we do. We set a goal. We accomplish it. We see how much responsibility it took to get to that goal. And we're afraid to write a bigger goal because we truly don't want to take on bigger responsibility. We just want the results that come with bigger responsibility without putting in that responsibility. Right? That's true, right? I want to eventually have an eBay store that is going to generate $1 million a year in sales, right? With the responsibility I'm putting into eBay right now, that is impossible. I can't do that with the amount of responsibility I'm putting into it. And I think the only thing that's held me back from going after that goal times 10 is the responsibility that comes with it. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're going from a 9 to 5 and you're going to be starting a side hustle as a reseller, whatever you are doing into your 9 to 5, the habits of you going to your 9 to 5 have to change dramatically throughout the next course of however long you do your side hustle, right? And I think this is a really good point on why you'll hear people say, I just want to sell a few things a year or whatever, right? And maybe that's all you really do want. Right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling everybody that becomes a reseller, hey, you got to shoot for the moon, right? That would be naive to say that, for one, and you have your different reasons to get into it. But if you want to make it, I'm going to say in theory that you want to make it and make it big on eBay and make some numbers that you would be grateful for. You'll wake up excited about it, right? Wake up excited about packaging the amount of items you're packaging. If you want to hit those numbers, your habits must change, right? 2022, we just went through. We're here now in 2023. Whatever the results you got in 22 from the responsibility you applied to eBay throughout 2022 will be the same you'll get in 2023, maybe a little bit different, right? If you don't start changing some habits. It could be an extra half hour a day. It could be, hey, I really don't want to do the research on my item, so I'm just going to guess if this works. Instead, do your fucking research so you know the item's going to sell, right? It could be as little as, hey, I don't got a good habit of revising items, so for the next 90 days or the next 30 days, at least 21 days, right? They say you can form a habit in 21 days with consistency. I struggle with that because I've done a lot of things in my life for 21 days and it didn't stick. And I think the reason why they didn't stick is that they weren't powerful enough for me, right? They didn't have enough meaning. So if you want different results in 2023, you're going to have to do something different. It could be as little as starting to revise items every day. And it could be 2 items a day. It could be an item a day. It could be 5, 10. I encourage you, if you got a few hundred items in your store, revise 10 items a day, right? If you got a few thousand items in your store, maybe revise 20 a day, 25 a day, right? I do 50 to 100 every day, right? First thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I package my items. I respond to all customers because throughout the night I can't respond to them, right? And right after that, I send out my feedback to the customers that just purchased items from me. And then I jump right into my current listings and I go through 50 to 100 of them and I just drop the price by $1, or I realize right now, okay, sweaters with flowers on it that are vintage are worth more money than they were freaking 2 years ago. So I'll up the price by a couple dollars, right? And that works, right? That extra, that is showing eBay you're putting in a little bit more than you were the day before. And they like to see that. They like to see that. Also, it also brings your items that's sitting there dead and don't ghosted and don't even know if people are seeing them anymore. It brings it back up in the algorithm, right? It basically refreshes it, right? It's good to do. You notice how eBay's algorithm, if you're on it and you first go, you hit the app, and you see the first post or whatever, and then you're on there scrolling for a while, and then it'll start doing this. It's its algorithm. It's recharging itself. It's putting up new stories, new posts, do this. Well, you want to do that with your eBay store too. So I truly believe life in general has laws. I'm going to use we'll just stick with the laws, okay? And it does. Listen. Now, I'm not telling you, I don't know if any of you guys know about the law of attraction, okay? What you are putting out in the world, if you're miserable in life, it's because you're being miserable, right? It's the law of life. It's just the way it happens. Now, if you wake up and find a way to make yourself positive and everything, you make things positive. Now, I think people misconstrue things in life. They think that happy people are generally just happy people. You have to work for that, okay? Because being an emotional being, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get mad. You're gonna get happy. You're gonna get sad. You're gonna have all these emotions, right? So it's impossible to wake up 365 days a year happy. Happy is a habit-forming emotion. Okay, you have to work towards being happy. Okay, you have to work towards a good eBay store. Your eBay store ain't going to be smiling on day 30, okay? It's just not going to work that way. You have to make it smile. You have to make it grow, right? And it really is the law of attraction. If you're walking around miserable every day, guess what? Bad shit's going to happen to you because that's what you're seeking. Now, if you look at eBay as the opportunity it truly is, right? And think about that all throughout your day when you're doing your hustle. Look, guys, it's not easy. It's not easy going out there buying one item and building it to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 items of inventory. That is not easy. Maybe that's not your model. There's different models. There's people out there that sell higher scale items, and they don't have to have nearly as many items in their store. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Whatever your model is, go buy it. But the law of attraction and the law of attraction in eBay is fucking real. Now, I'm not sitting here saying you can list 100 items and just start waking up and being grateful for eBay and being grateful for your customers and just hoping your sales are going to go up. Because listen, I've said it in a lot of my videos. Prayer without action is fucking worthless. You just stop doing it. You know, you're going to get no different result. If you're praying every day and you're not taking action for the direction you want to go into, it is pointless. You are wasting your energy. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you not to pray if you're a religious believer or you're a spiritual believer, right? Do your thing, but you'll get much better results. For example, if you pray and believe it was actually in motion and you start taking action, your prayer gets answered, okay? If you just pray that your items are going to sell and you're not adding any more to your inventory, or you're not revising any items, or you're not having good customer service, that's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you. I used to have a thing in my mind about reselling where I would say, once I hit a certain number, once I hit that 10,000 items in my number, I can kick back and go to the beach and soak my feet in the sand and drink a margarita, although I don't drink anymore, right? But I was having this vision of what it was going to look like. Your vision of what you think eBay is going to be is probably not going to be like that. Okay, it's very rarely. How many times in your life did you have a vision? Okay, I'm going to get in shape, right? And this is going to be great, and everything's going to go hunky-dory, and we're going to go to the gym every day, and we're going to eat real good, and we're going to drink a lot of hydrating water and fluids, and everything's just going to go smooth, and I'm going to look wonderful in 6 months, right? How many of them days did you feel that way throughout that 6-month process? Not every day, okay? So you're not going to feel that way on eBay every day, and that is absolutely normal. Wherever your thought process is in eBay right now, the great thing is it's changeable. And the other thing is every other reseller had that same thought. Like, you're not alone. I want people to know in this group, in this channel on YouTube, that wherever you're at in your journey right now, whether you're struggling to get inventory, whether you're struggling with your customer service, whether you're struggling with revising items, whether you're struggling with finding items, whether you're struggling with whatever part, the photography, the listing, whatever you're struggling with, people have been there and they've resolved it. So as well as you can as well. Okay? You're not somewhere where nobody's been before. I was just talking to Vic yesterday in a group. It was super rad. I loved that video. I loved the interaction I was getting with everybody. I learned so much through that video about other people's ideas and their viewpoints and their adversities they went through on eBay. Vic put many, many months, maybe over a year into reselling, and they kept overcharging him. Hopefully he don't mind me saying this. They kept charging him a certain dollar amount, and it wasn't that big of a dollar amount. Like he said, hey, if it was a one-time thing, they figured it out and stopped charging him, that would have been cool. But they kept multiplying it every day. They were charging him the same amount, X amount of times a day, and that's getting ridiculous. That's really going to put a dent in your pocket when they keep taking this small dollar amount. That adds up, right? So he is now at the point of, do I start over again, right? Or do I go move on and do something else? And what was so important about that is he told that to the right person because I was right in them same shoes. 11 months in on our first journey, on my first journey on eBay, COVID hit right around the holidays, and it was all exposed all over the news and everywhere else, right? And I was taking my items to the post office, and they were sitting, dawning. They were just there, right? They weren't going nowhere. The customers started saying, hey, where in the fuck's my packs? They said, hey, we got this pandemic going on, and it's right around the holidays. My apologies. Some of them sat there for 2 months, and I already refunded them. I don't know where they're at. They're lost in transaction. They probably got thrown away or donated. I don't know. Right, but my store went completely over, and I was right in his same shoes and was thinking, do I start over again, or do I go do something else, man, or do I go back to a 9-to-5? So I pondered that with my fiance. Long story short, that adversity right there, that struggle I went through, that setback, that disappointment I went through, helped me pick a niche and get us to where we are today. Right now, there was a lot that went along with this past 2 years on this store right here, but it helped me, or 2.5, going on 3. It helped me. The failure I had right there helped me pick a niche. Made my eBay journey easier because I kind of already knew what to do. I had 11 months experience, right? Which isn't a lot on eBay, but you can learn a lot in 11 months. You're going to learn a lot in 30 days, right? If you're doing something every day for 30 days, you're going to learn a lot about the platform, Okay. Matter of fact, you're probably going to sponge in more in 90 days than you do over the course of 5 years. It's crazy, right? Because you want to learn everything in the beginning, then you find out what works for you, and some things you kind of start not worrying about as much as other things, and you focus where you know what works, right? I mean, that's what people do. You go out and you get a brand new job, 9 to 5. You're going there. You're giving it 100% every day. One, because you want to make a good impression on your boss and you want to show that you're capable of doing it. You set your clothes out on your bed the night before so you're all prepared in the morning and you don't got to rush around, so you're going to work with a calm mind. About 90 days to 6 months into that job, you're starting to see where you can cut corners, where you can shave here. Okay, I don't got to leave at freaking 7:30 in the morning. I can actually leave at 7:45. And you fuck yourself, really, is what you do. You start showing up, not being the 100% you, and then you fall right into the majority of the other employees there, and you can't climb the corporate ladder because you're doing just enough not to get fired and still get a paycheck, right? And people do that when it comes to reselling. You want to learn everything the first 90 days and 6 months, and you're doing everything you can. You're watching all the video content you can. You're studying it. You're reading about Google startup and, or on eBay startup off from Google, and different stories and success stories and failure stories. You're doing all this research about eBay the first 90 days and 6 months, and then you find out what works. And you kind of stop expanding, right? I'm there. I've been there, right? I know what works and sells for me. So what Mary Sue did in 2010, I really don't care about anymore, right? I'm worried about getting us to the next level. But that's not saying that's a good thing to do, right? But in the beginning, you overload yourself too. So you figure out what works for you, go with it. There's a law. There are laws to winning on eBay. There's laws to winning in life, right? And I think the number one law is the only way to change a circumstance in your life, depending. There are some things you can't change, right? You can't change if you have well, yeah, you could. But the only way, I just read a post, man, it hit right at home with me. The only way to change a situation and an outcome in your life is to change something you're doing in your routine. Your routine literally makes your success or unsuccessfulness on eBay. That is the bottom line. I don't care I will argue any reseller that makes YouTube content, or any reseller that is all the 7 million resellers that are on the eBay platform, that if they are making it, it's because they're routine. There's nothing unique about you. Okay, if you're making it, you're not a fucking like a god and everybody should praise you, right? That's not true. What you should be doing is giving out the information on what your routine looks like and give back to the community. That's my opinion. Now, you don't got to do that if you don't want to. That's up to you. But that'd be the right thing to do. So it is the law of your routine. This is why I can't overemphasize the importance of writing a routine down and sticking with it for 90 days. And after that 90 days, go over and evaluate the growth, the things that work the greatest, the things that really didn't fucking work at all, and twist it. Right? Don't twist the shit that's working unless you're going to increase it by a listing or two, revising an item or two more, right? Don't change the shit that's working. Change the shit that, okay, my inventory system right now, it's a little rocky. It needs some attention. So spend an extra 30 minutes a day trying to develop a better inventory system. Whatever works, start. Don't the old saying, don't fix what's not broke, right? Look, if you're getting sales, don't start tweaking your prices a little more because you think now that you're getting sales, you can increase your price. Keep doing what's working there. But if you're not revising items, or you hit a point where, okay, you want to make 10 sales a day and you're there, right? You're getting 10 sales a day. Well, now is the time to increase it by a couple or a few or 5, whatever, right? My opinion is if you can do 10 items a day, you can do 5 or 5 more. But I don't know your schedule neither. You might be working a 12-hour job, so I can't say that per se, right? But like in my situation where I'm at doing this full time, if I can do 35 a day, I can do 40. It's my choice at that point to do an extra 30 minutes a day and get them extra 5 items up. I can do that. 30 minutes isn't that much of your day, right? I could do that. So what I want people to try to understand is there is a law behind eBay. I talk about it a lot in here. and set your 90-day plans. Stick with them. Don't budge. Don't critique yourself the whole way through it. Don't start critiquing yourself until you did it long enough so where you can critique yourself. You can't do something on eBay for 3 weeks and be like, okay, this ain't working. I'm going to try something different. You'll never, ever figure out a routine that works for you if you do that. If you say, okay, I'm going to list 4 items a day for the next 21 days, and after that, I'm going to try something different, and after that 21 day, you're never going to know what needs tweaks because you didn't do anything long enough. That's why I stress the importance of 90 days. If you can make it even longer, 120 days, that's better, but people start getting scared when you get in the 3 digits. I don't get it. But I do get it, but I don't get it, right? You know, it's a lot. It really boils down, eBay really boils down to what you're willing, what type of responsibility you're willing to take on. That's your level of success on eBay is predicated on the responsibilities you're willing to take on throughout your day, throughout your quarter, throughout your year, throughout your month, throughout your next decade. Don't give you a prime example, Tech and Sports. He won't bend his responsibilities. He won't bend them. If he's going to do 250 items today, and it takes him from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, he's going to get them 250 up. If it takes him from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, he's going to stay up that extra 5 hours and get that 250, them last 50 items up, right? Whatever his responsibility to the platform is solid, unbreakable. In my opinion, Tech and Sports is one of the most beastly people when it comes to consistency and discipline. You can't break that man. You can't break his responsibility. And here's the great thing about that is a choice he made, which means it's a choice we can make. It's a choice. Listen, if you ever heard somebody talk bad about eBay and they're bashing it and they're down in it and it's just a bunch of bullshit platform and their fees, that person wasn't willing to put in the work. Okay? Do not take that information and suck it in and act like that's going to happen and play out in your journey, because if you do suck it in and you actually believe it, your journey is going to suck too. That is the law of life, right? What's going on in your gearbox up here is going to play out throughout your day. You wake up in a shitty, pissy mood, everything that goes a little bit wrong throughout your day, you're going to fucking amplify it times 10. And the good shit, you're going to overlook it and act like it doesn't even exist. How do I know that? I did it for a long time. Wake up in a shitty mood, rushing around for everything because I wasn't prioritizing my day. And then any good thing that was present in front of my face, I overlooked it, ignored it, and act like it didn't even exist. Okay, so when people start pointing out the little things like an eBay fee, dude, you are in a wrong mindset right there. Get out of that mindset. The law of eBay is literally the law of your routine. That's what it boils down. There's no bending that. And I'm not saying I'm Mr. Right. I've had a whole lot of Mr. Wrong go on throughout my last 4 years in this journey. But I'm telling you, I've done these 90-day intervals since day one. And I've slacked on some of them. Yes, I'm human. I've fucked up some places, right? But when I'm on target, my fucking eBay business is booming, right? It is booming. And it is unbreakable. If you are solid and unbreakable, your sales will be solid and unbreakable. Bottom line, there's no, well, you got to make sure this is right and that's right. What's got to be right is your routine, your discipline, and the responsibility you're willing to take on. I'm telling you, I see this more times than not in life, and period. There's not a single soul walking this earth right now that couldn't be financially successful as fuck. It does not take a genius to be financially secure. What it takes is responsibility. And most people are not willing to take on the responsibility that it's going to take to get their eBay business to the next level. They want to be lazy. They want to put in as little amount of work as they possibly can to keep the amount of sales that they got, but they hope they increase. That is not going to happen for you or me. Okay? If you're at a point where you're doing 20 sales a day and you just wish 40 sales a day would start happening, but you keep listing 20 items a day, it's not going to happen for you, is what I'm trying to say. Me included, guys. When I'm saying this, I want to make $1 million in sales in a year, but what's holding me back is I can imagine. I don't know exactly the amount of responsibility it's going to take me to get there, but it's going to be a lot more than I'm doing right now. I do know that. And the only thing that's held me back is I got comfortable with the responsibility I'm in right now. I worked up a routine where it seems like I'm not even barely doing shit, and we're making the amount of, I'm not saying not doing nothing, but I can do it and I can achieve it on a daily basis. And I don't want to push the bar, because what if it breaks me again? I don't want to feel broke again. That's what it really boils down to. It really boils down to the amount of responsibility you're willing to give this platform. If you go in there and you're not willing to put in any responsibility, you're going to get fuck shit results. Bottom line, you're going to get shitty results. You're never going to get consistent sales, and you're just wasting your time, in my opinion. Now, if you're willing to give the platform whatever it's asking, you will fucking make some progress, and you'll make some good progress. Why I say this responsibility is so difficult, because you're going to put in a whole shit ton of responsibility before you're getting the rewards that you believe you deserve. You think just because, and I'm saying you guys, talking about me too, I'm looking at myself, I think because I listed 30 items a day for 45 fucking days that I should be getting 35 sales a day. I'm here to tell you it's not going to happen that fast for you. It's just not the way it works, right? Prime example. I started making 2 YouTube videos a day, every day, and on this channel, right? Had 40-some subscribers for the past year on my YouTube channel. It's up over 50 or 51 or something like that now. Why did that happen? Because I picked the responsibility back up, and I started putting 2 videos a day. Now, 50 ain't shit, guys, right? And that is a very low number of subscribers. But if I do this every day for the next 365 days, I might have 1,500 subscribers. I might have 500 subscribers. I might have, I don't know the exact number, but if I'm not willing to put it, this is what people don't realize about YouTube and eBay. It's like 2 different things, but a lot of the same algorithm. Your title matters on YouTube, right? Your title, your front photo matters, right? Your picture photo, that matters on eBay too, right? Your title, your description, and how consistent you are on YouTube is what gets you subscribers and gets you fucking traction. It's the exact same thing on eBay. Your photo quality. Now, I'm not saying you got to have perfect photos, because I don't have perfect photos, but they like you to do 12 photos if you can, unless you're listing, like a fucking DVD or something where you only need 6, right? You don't even need that, actually, but they like you to get as much specifics as possible. They like a good description, and your front photo should be a good photo, and you should do it every day. It's the same thing as YouTube, right? Different platform, same thing. Different platform, same thing. And guess what? If you do what eBay asks you to do on a daily basis like that, and you keep doing that, your sales are going to gradually go up. I say gradually because they might not go up for 3 weeks. They might not go up for freaking 6 weeks. You have to know they are going to. If you're doing what you know you have to do, you're putting the responsibility in this is why so many people, I swear to God, stop reselling. They think, right, if I do this shit for 30 days and I start getting what I want in 30 days, I'll keep doing it. And you're not going to get what you want in 30 days on eBay. You're not getting, listen, why do you think you'll hear the old, the joke where, you'll see a brand new Corvette going down the road and it's an old man, right? You think it's because it's his ego, or maybe you heard the old lie about he's having a midlife crisis, right? No. It took him his whole life to get financially dependent enough to go out and buy a $100,000 vehicle, right? I'm not saying they're not young kids out there that their parents are buying them Corvettes and shit, right? But I think that is catastrophe waiting to happen, right? That shows them that they get what they want without no responsibility in life. Why do you think that is, right? Like, people become financially dependent later on in life. Why? Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing the first 20 years. Most people, men at least, right? I don't know, women seem a little more responsible in their 20s, but not all women. And I don't want to make this a man-woman thing, right? Because I believe, I know plenty of successful reselling women and men. But what I'm trying to say is throughout your 20s as a person, the majority, okay, let's put this, The majority don't know what the fuck they're doing with their finances. They don't know how to make it grow. They're living paycheck to paycheck. And then when somebody's 60 and you finally see them driving a BMW or a Porsche or a big jacked up truck they always wanted to have, they started figuring out through failure upon failure upon failure upon failure of what the fuck works. And that's what you're going to go through on eBay. You'll see resellers. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say their name, but I was watching resellers. You know, I never heard of them at all for the first few years. Then all of a sudden, their 5th year, they made a little bit of success on eBay. And they started hearing it. And 5 years later, they're fucking a YouTube sensation, right, about eBay. Why do you think that is? It takes time. Why does it take time? Because you are going to fuck up a lot. And you got to learn from the fuck ups. And that takes time, right? The whole platform of eBay is not designed for you to, hey, do this shit for 60 days and fucking win, man. That's not, they don't want that. They want a lifer. They want somebody that's going to be here every day. The person that lists every once in a while, sure, you're going to get sales here and there, but that's what you're going to get. Because eBay is trying to get the people. Look, you got to think about eBay. You got to think about the owners of eBay, right? If you're not making money, they're not making money. So the opportunity's for everybody. Okay? Now, if I'm in a CEO position of eBay, put yourself in their shoes. Okay? And you got guy A and girl B over here, and guy A is listing Monday through Thursday and doing nothing for the weekend, but girl B over here, right, is listing every single fucking day and hasn't missed a day in a year. Who do you think is going to get more sales? This woman is putting more product on the market for us, so she's going to get more sales because she's doing what we're after, and it's making us more money. This guy's making us a couple bucks, so we don't want to get rid of him, but he's not going to get nearly the traffic that woman B is going to get. That is just the law of it. You don't have to like it, but that's the truth. If you don't believe that, do this shit for 90 days consistent at a certain number, and it will prove it to yourself. I didn't believe a lot of the videos I first started watching. There was a couple people I started watching, again, I'm not going to say names, that I'm like, no, that ain't bullshit, dude. That is not the algorithm. Bullshit, right? Like I was challenging their success, which was stupid of me, right? That was me being naive and selfish. And then the longer I went in, I'm like, oh, fuck, that dude was right? And I went back in, subscribed to their channel, I started watching it. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker is right? Like, if I just do what the fuck this motherfucker was saying for the past 6 months, I would have been 6 months ahead of the game than I am today. Do you see what I'm saying? So there is a law to eBay. Follow it if you want good results. Try not to think, hey, I'm going to be that unique, different person, and I'm going to list Monday and Friday and Sunday, and I'm going to blow the doors off, right? Don't try to be that person, because that's not what eBay's looking for. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you they're not opening their arms to part-time reseller, and I'm not telling you not to be a part-time reseller. If that's what works for you, make it work for you. But don't try to be like I was. I was like, I'm going to try to do something different, right? I'm going to try to do something different, and I'm going to show these big-time resellers that you can do it a different way and make it work. And I failed at that, okay? I looked stupid to myself, right? Because they don't care. They didn't care that I didn't make it. They were probably like, I told you, motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? So it's your boy, Flippinstoop. You guys have a rocking day, but believe in the law. And the biggest thing that's held me back from chasing after, because I know the amount of responsibility. I don't know exactly, but I know it's a lot more than I'm doing right now. So if you're holding yourself back, stop doing that and take on the responsibility. Because what it's going to also do, not only increase your sales, not only scale your business bigger, but it is also going to scale you bigger. It's going to turn you into a person you didn't know what was possible. That's one of the most beautiful things I think about eBay, is from day one to year 5, if you're not a different person, a different being, you're doing it wrong. Right? You're doing it wrong. You are going to, today's your day 1, 365 days down the year, you're going to be one of two things. You're either going to be more organized, you're going to be more responsible, you're going to be able to multitask better, or you're going to be the same person and you're going to get shitty results. I mean, really, now listen, I'm not saying everybody's got bad habits, right? Or, wait a minute. I lied there. Everybody does have bad habits. But I'm not saying everybody's habits are the same as mine was, right? I had really bad habits, poor responsibility levels, self-doubt. self-defeating behaviors. I had all kinds of bad habit forming things I formed over the years of my drug use that even though I quit using drugs, I was still carrying that along in my life, right? Like the personal shaming. I used to do that all the time. I just knew I fucking sucked. This ain't gonna work for me. That type of shit has to change. Those are little habits. If you start incrementally changing throughout your eBay journey, you'll see a substantial growth. And people think that's batshit crazy, but it starts here. We were just talking about business yesterday. People think a business is opened at the grand opening. That business started 6 months to 18 months to maybe even 2 years before that sign was even fucking thought of. It all starts up here. It all starts in your gears. If your gears aren't fucking wired right, and don't feel guilty and bad if they're not wired right, you're basically, you are a metaphor of who the fuck you were raised by, whether you like that or not, right? How many of us in this group would be like, I want to be just like my dad or mom, right? Hopefully some of you guys, but most of us would have to be saying, I don't want to be anything like that. I want to be a little better, right? And I'm not saying our parents are bad, but isn't that the tradition of life? You want to be able to, do any of you want your kids to go through what you went through? Let me ask you that. Not too many people in here are going to say, I definitely don't want any of our kids to do the shit I did for 20 years. Are you fucking nuts? I would be an idiot if I wanted them to go through that, right? So, in saying that, you have some characteristics that's within your thinker, right? Your think box, your brain, your head, whatever you want to call it, that have to be altered a little bit. And the hardest part about that is if you're still around those people every day that inhabited those habits within you, it's hard to shift them when you're around that shit. I made a couple videos about if you want greatness, start putting yourself around people that want greatness. Right? Because if you're listening to negative turmoil, gossip, and all this other bullshit on a daily basis, and you're trying to not do that anymore because you want to focus on you and your journey and growing your family to a level that you know is possible, but it is not possible if all you listen to all day is what fucking John and Sally's doing down the road. You're not going to make it. If you're still stuck in that mindset, like I've said it a long time ago, and this bum hurts a lot of people because almost to a degree, almost everybody gossips a whittle, right? But most people gossip a lot. The ones that gossip the most have the least going on in their life that's worth talking about. Because if you're doing something good with your life, if you're doing something good with your eBay journey, you're going to have something about yourself to talk about when you see that person you ain't seen at the gas station in 3 months, right? But if you don't, you're going to be like, you'll never believe what that dude Tom that we went to high school, the fucker OD'd in the parking lot and his wife was cheating on him and all this other crazy. You're like, who cares about that, right? So if you're around, this is where I made videos a while back ago where I say it's important that people, if you want to win, you got to find winners, okay? You don't see, I used this analogy too before. You don't see billionaires hanging out with people that are making $30,000 a year. Why do you think that is? I don't know. Maybe you do, but I've never had a billionaire reach out to me and say, hey, Stoop, man, I just can't wait to get together this weekend. Why do you think that is? We have nothing in common. Nothing in common. What he does throughout his day, or her, is completely opposite of what I do throughout my day. And they know if they're around me too much, my bad habits will rub off onto them. You become what you put yourself around. It's your boy, Flippin' Stoop. Have a great day.